Oh, if you're feeling, you know it must be time for drive time. And a very good morning. Good morning. It is 11, a little after 11 o'clock here in Seattle. So we get a chance to bring you Time Radio with your car talking host, New York Vinnie. A very good morning to you. Hope everything is fine in your world. A little over here in beautiful downtown, well, not really downtown Edmonds, but the international district of Edmonds, where our studios are located, the studios of Esperance Media. We have been using now for close to 5 years. It's amazing. I've been here doing the show from here 5, another couple of years from Pittsburgh before we got out and amazingly, still finding stuff to talk about. In cars, we got a good show for you today. We're going to talk about a bunch of things that are going on in the car world, as well, excuse me, as well, a chapter of Yo Vinny, what are you driving this week? Radio road test for you. So lots going on car wise. If you haven't tuned into our program before to us on YouTube, and if you're not listening to us on YouTube, please go to us at V Media. Golden V Media is how you find us, and please click like and subscribe. We're getting close to a milestone number of subscribers. We'd like to hit that number, so please go to Golden V Media on YouTube. It'll come up Drivetime Radio with New York Vinnie. And please encourage your friends to do the same, as we need all the listeners and people that we can get to listen to our show because I'm talking to people. I love talking to people, especially about cars. I mean, really, when you get in life, what else do you got to talk about? Cars and sports and cars, right? I mean, that's what you really have. Anyway, been a interesting week in the automotive world. Lots of things are going on. Some of them that probably concern you at least a little bit, and some others that may not, may just grab you peripherally, you in, but interesting nonetheless. It is Daytona Speed Weekend. That's right, Speed Week at Daytona. This is the year where everybody heads down to Daytona Beach, Florida. NASCAR gets things fired up. And one big notice, if you are a NASCAR fan, if you're paying attention to NASCAR, there has been a change. The start time for the NASCAR Cup Series Daytona 100, which is tomorrow, because of strange weather that they're having down there in Florida. Right? I mean, I think they'd have strange weather in Florida. NASCAR announced the Daytona 500 move up 1 hour from its originally scheduled time. It'll now begin at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you're planning on watching the Daytona 500 tomorrow with the kiddies, 1:30 is when it will happen. I believe that's on Fox, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, you can go on the app, the NASCAR app, and find it too. If you want to find more out about the Daytona 500, go to their website at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com. But the Daytona, cool. I mean, this is the start of racing season. Now, I'm old enough to remember like a gathering of folks. It's grown way past that now, but it's still event. It's where the racing world gets together. I was just looking down the number of people that are appearing down there, and that's one thing that NASCAR does so well, is they connect the fans with the drivers and the personnel around the vehicles. Be a number of guest appearances today, tomorrow, and I believe on Monday, as well as it is President's Day on Monday. Some people have the day off and they head to Daytona for that. But NASCAR does
touch their fans and personalize to their fans in a great way. Otherwise, it'd probably be a dead sport. Be honest, between all the stuff that's going on in the world today, I mean, and the prices, the way they've gone up, it really, racing doesn't come to a lot of people's minds outside of the Southwest. But the way that NASCAR has been able to with their fans, to make them feel a part of what's going on, to personalize the experience by putting cameras in the cars and getting drivers out to meet people, let people go in the pits and all that kind of stuff. I know that many of the people that work in NASCAR, that the pit people and mechanics and stuff like that aren't crazy about it, but they also realize that the sport needs to have this stuff to survive. And if it doesn't have it, and if it doesn't survive, their jobs to go away. That's it. That's simple. They need to keep that personal connect between the drivers and the fan, cars, and all of the synergy that goes on around Daytona needs to continue to happen. So they do a great job of making it happen. And listen, you got to be proud of them. If you are a racing fan, if you are a NASCAR fan, you probably have the most accessible sport of any of the major sports. And yeah, I'll put racing in with major sports. I mean, we may not get it up here in the Northwest or maybe in the Northeast, but man, you go down to Arizona, you go down to the South, Texas and Alabama and Georgia and North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, those places, West Virginia, and that sport rocks down there. I mean, it's a major event when the cars go into Bristol or when they go into Darlington or when they go into any of these racetracks for the races in that week. Just it's crazy. I always tell people you have not been to sporting if you haven't been to a NASCAR race in the because it's just something to behold. So you'll have that. Fans in attendance this weekend will enjoy a pre-race performance tomorrow by Pitbull. And the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds will be performing the flyover at the Daytona Speedway tomorrow. So you cannot miss that. I mean, again, they break the pageantry. Their opening race, and for all of their races, really. I mean, again, they are spectacles. They are shows. They know Bill France and his crew how to put on a show, and to this day, they continue that. And again, if you want more information on the Daytona 500, DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com. And yes, I was correct. The original broadcast networks remain unchanged. The Daytona 500 will be live on Fox, MRN, and Sirius XM NASCAR radio. So you can catch it all on those venues. All right, a bunch of other stuff going on for years. By the way, this is the top five things you got to know about cars this week. And we always try to come up with 5 things that'll make you smarter at the end of the show than you're beginning of the show, unless certain situations where you're not going to get smarter anyway. So you may as well just sit back and listen and call your friends to explain it to you. The Ford F-150. Ooh, like flying pins around here. The Ford F-150, the most popular truck selling vehicle, not just truck, but most popular selling vehicle for years and years, since the 70s. The Ford F-150 has been the number one truck, the number one vehicle
bar none. It is the number one vehicle in sales. But there has been a change. After a couple of years line, it was in 2017, 2018, 2019, but in 2020 it started to drop. While the F-150 still remains truck, there's a new big dog in town. And I don't know what this says about America. I don't know what this says about us as a society, but usually the best-selling cars say something, don't they? Well, the best-selling car now, the best-selling vehicle, the top of the pops, is the Toyota RAV4. It's out. The Ford F-150. 150 still the top. Beats the Ram 1500 and the Chevrolet Silverado. But since with the registrations compiled and shifting starting back in 2020, Toyota claimed the top spot for the first quarter. Ford 12.1%, Toyota 13.7% of the registration. So this is Experian who analyzes these types of the same people that give you your credit score, so we can rely on them, right? But Experian analyzed registrations of new vehicles in the first quarter of the past several years, and Ford solidly the most registered brand in 2017, 2018, 2019. 2020, they nearly tied 12.8 for Ford, but Ford moved out to 12.9%. 2021, Toyota claimed the top spot for the first quarter, 13.7% of new registration. Ford 12.1% for the same period. So you're driving that F-150, you are no longer driving the most popular vehicle. And I think something. Not sure what it says, but I think it does say something about us. Maybe our country is shifting away from pickup trucks, which are, for most people in this country, unnecessary vehicles. I mean, if you live in an apartment by Green Lake in Seattle, you don't need a pickup truck, do you? If you need something, you go and rent one. But doesn't a RAV4 or a station wagon or a sedan suit you better than the pickup truck? I mean, I know it's a macho thing to drive one. It looks good when you're going to the concert. Probably looks good when you're going to the beach or up to the mountains or something like that. But the reality is, in many instances in the city, they're useless. I think the difference is with the small pickup trucks, that those find more use in an urban environment. Now, again, if you live out in the country, if you're out in Falls City or North Bend or out in Puyallup or out that way, Lacey, places like that, Roy, or Waugh, if you're into hockey. You get to a pickup truck is practical for you. You're gonna have instances use it a lot more. But if you're in your car to fire it up and go on a picnic on Sunday, or go here or go there, let's face it, you're not. A truck isn't. Now, I'm not. You shouldn't get a truck. Don't get me wrong. You should buy whatever vehicle you like to drive and can afford. You should go out and buy that vehicle. If it makes you happy, you should buy it, or get or obtain that vehicle, however you obtain it. Don't steal it, though, please. but it's just the practicality of some of these vehicles. Again, people live in apartments that drive gas at the bar when they go out, or it looks good at when they go out to some kind of event. They have to climb up into the truck, and that looks good. If you want to see what doesn't look good, you should have seen me climbing into a Bronco last week. That was worth watching. But the point of it is people don't always buy the vehicle that suits them. People don't always the vehicle that they should be buying, or the vehicle that's right for them. Now, again, I'm not saying that to go out and buy the exact vehicle for them. Sometimes you got to throw whimsy to the wind. You got to go out and you got to get something. Listen, I'm a guy that had a convertible when I had a young kid. Used to strap her down back there, and she loved it. She loved that wind rolling through her bald little head through her car seat. It used to whistle. But I mean, you have to step out of the box every once in a while. But you also got to take your need into consideration. If you need a car to go get groceries, if you are to go get different stuff, is a big ass pickup truck gonna be the thing that you need? That's kind of why I like these. For years I drove an El Camino because I like pickup trucks, but I didn't want the big ass car. I wanted something smaller, and the El Camino fit my criteria, fit what I want. That's why I like the Santa Cruz by Hyundai, and I like the Maverick by Ford. They're solar pickup trucks that work in an environment. You can still 4 or 5 people into those cars. They're car-like vehicles, and when you need a pickup truck, when you need a bed, need to go grab a refrigerator or a stove or whatever it is that you're grabbing when you have to move stuff, you can pack stuff in the back of that thing, tall and I guess I would include the Cybertruck in there, except because I think this is an oddity that people are buying, not because it's a practical truck, but because for the most part they're either first to die or they want to be seen, and there's a number of different reasons that they buy those trucks, those Cybertrucks. Again, I haven't driven one yet. I haven't ridden in one yet. I'm trying to get my friend Kirby Arnold has one, and I want to get a ride in it, and I want to actually see if he'll drive it, because I want to see what the dynamics is or are on that particular car. Certainly draws attention. If you're looking for a me vehicle, that's it. But it also serves purpose of, except the Cybertruck. I mean, it doesn't seem it's very roomy inside. I don't know. It's just that doesn't do the job for me. So anyway, a new kid in town at the top of the sales charts for cars and trucks. Prepare to get parted with your money if you're an idiot. Yeah, if you are an idiot, if you're one of those people, and I will call you an idiot, because I think that when people do this, they be in their right minds. I really, people that do this to no end. But people that speed through work zones. I slow down for work zones on the highway, on the streets, wherever they are. When I see work trucks, when I see people out there, I slow down. I would never want it on my conscience that I some guy who was out there working, and try to make a living by doing a tough job as it is, working on a highway, and that I was that person getting injured, not being able to feed their family, or worse.
I just wouldn't want to be that person. So I slow down in work zones. I can't tell you how many idiots that are behind me when I slow down. I slow down in work zone that are flashing their lights because I'm doing, 35, 40, 50, whatever the limit is in the work zone. And, they were going 60 and they want to keep going 60 or 70 or 80 through the work. Something that's always bugged me. Well, it's bugged enough people at the state level as well that the Department of Highways, Department of Transportation, has come out with work zone speed cameras on trailers. In the 2023 legislative session, the Department of Transportation requested that they had the authority to use speed cameras in active state work zones. Became law in 2023, and the trailers with the cameras are already put together, and I believe are out there already. And the way this is going to work is they're going to park. And I've just before they have them in Maryland. Drive from, let's say, Pittsburgh to Washington, D.C., you encounter work zone cameras. They have them in all the work zones on the way through, into Washington, D.C. And it's a very simple use LiDAR to detect the vehicle speed, which can accurately the LiDAR detect the speed of both vehicles across several lanes of highway. It's fully automatic. They use the LiDAR to scan the vehicles that are going through. Washington is the head of that. Now, what they do is they take the pictures and they send them over to the Washington State, and they have some trooper sitting there and looking at those pictures and analyzing them somehow about how fast you were going, and they can tell how fast you were going by looking at the pictures. I mean, gradients on, I think they're on the road actually, but they tell if you're doing 60, 70, 50, whatever you're. They have some kind of, whatever the speed limit is. I don't think they should give you a break at all, by the way. And you're going to see here that you're going to get a break, but the Washington State Patrol handles the enforcement. They mail you a ticket, and if you're speeding, you get the ticket, you got to go to court. And you're guilty, not guilty, extenuating circumstances. What state patrol will review the film, determine if a violation occurred or not, and then we'll sign a notice if one has occurred. That'll be mailed to the registered owner of the vehicle within 30 days of the violation. The system will be tested daily to make sure that the vehicle sensors, camera, and computers are accurate. And the results of that will be analyzed by technician. Errors happen. The technician will stop the enforcement activities until the errors are fixed. The fines, penalties. The work zone camera program penalty, which has been established by the legislature, is 0 for the first infraction, which I think is stupid. If you're going to do this, you charge people for it. Why give them a warning? Do you need a warning to notice a work zone? Seriously. Do you need somebody to warn you that you should slow down? And if you are, you should know that you slow down in a work zone. There shouldn't be a 0 for the first infraction. You shouldn't get a break here. It's like DUI. You shouldn't get a break for DUI. You're taking somebody's life into your hands. And you shouldn't have
the right to do that. You shouldn't have the chance to do that. And if you do it, you should be made to remember when you did it. And a $500 fine will make you remember. Believe you, no. The first time you get it, you don't get dinged for it. The second time you get a ticket, they get you for $240. So that's what the Department of Transportation has determined that a worker's life is worth. $148. Seems ridiculous to me. $148 for the second and each infraction thereafter. Why not just, let him hit 10 and you just fine him $2,500? How absolutely stupid is this law that they face? It's like, it gets me so upset. Sorry, $248 is not a lot of money these days. Geez, I think a loaf of bread is $248. $8 and eggs, $248. Anyway, that's what you get. And that money will go to costs associated with the zone speed camera program for the following year, and the expansion of the program is warranted. And then any other funds left over will be allocated to the Washington State Patrol for driving under the influence emphasis patrols and safety education programs. Too many work zone crews and emergency responders have had close calls, serious injuries, and deaths in marked work zones. You should win that fast through a work zone. Total work zone 2020 1109. 2021 1363. 2022 1313. 2023 1377 crashes. Top 3 causes, all preventable. Following too closely, excessive speeding, and distracted driving. So you're cruising through the work zone. You figure, it's a great time for me to look at my cell phone. What a beautiful time for me to look and check my texts. And so you're driving through the thing, and all of a sudden, thump. And that thump is the hard hat of some worker who's raking some asphalt or fixing one of the expansion joints, and you've just hit the guy or woman and put them out 6 months, maybe put their family out of a provider, and maybe worse. The Department of Transportation says, slow down, be kind, pay attention, and stay calm. All good advice. But again, got to cut down on the number of crashes. I mean, I feel bad for anybody who works out on the road. I drove a tow truck for years, and I can't tell you how many times I was almost killed out on the road, hooking up, or standing there talking to somebody to try to get them out of harm's way. This was the days of cell phones, before the day of screens in the car and all of that kind of. I mean, people got stupid just by turning the dial on their radios. And listen, it happens to me. I'm on the screen here and I'm trying to find something, and all of a sudden I'm paying attention to the navigation system instead of paying attention to the road in front of me. I'm not going to say I'm an angel and it's never happened to me, because it has. And I got to snap myself back into it. And I think that if there's a dollar fine for popping somebody in a work zone, that'll make you pay a little bit more attention to it. Maybe that and the fact that they should, instead of taking your license away, take your damn cell phone away for a year. Can you imagine if they took your cell phone away for a year? I mean, you wouldn't be able to remember the numbers because nobody can remember numbers anymore. It'd all be in your phone. Your phone wouldn't be able to have, you wouldn't have all the numbers. You'd be going crazy. You wouldn't be able to call somebody. Everybody would have to call you, but they couldn't get a hold of you because your cell phone is sitting in some judge's pocket for days, or 60 days, or 90 days, or a year. You want to punish somebody, that's how you punish them. Anyway, bottom line is this is a smart program, a good program. I wish the state of Washington a lot of luck with it. But more importantly, I would rather see them write no tickets and accidents cut in half. That's what I'd rather see. Is to pay attention to the road and pay attention to the workers and pay attention to the tow drivers and the people who are road straight so we can drive. That's what I'd rather see. I would love to see it that those numbers were cut in half, cut in a quarter, because the word got around that they were really giving some penalties on this kind of thing, and people were putting their phones down and paying attention to the road. Again, I'm not innocent of it either. I'm no angel to this stuff, but I do that at some point in life you have to take not only responsibility, but you have to pay attention to what. Again, I just think about how I would feel if I hit somebody. The anguish and the pain I would go through. The heartache I would responsibility I would feel if I hurt some road worker. If I hurt somebody, or God forbid somebody out there doing their job. That's what would break my heart. That's what would hurt me more than anything else. Is to know that I had a hand in doing something like that to somebody. It would be horrible. Absolutely horrible. All right. On to a little bit more. Well, a little better news, should I say? My car is ripping up the track. The Corvette is out on the prowl, and with racing getting underway, the Corvette folks at General Motors have decided to take that ZR1 out on the track and make a statement. So the Corvette ZR1 over the last few weeks has set, 5 new production car lap records as they take the ZR1, the 64 horsepower Corvette 1 with the ZT gauge around the different tracks. GM got 5 drivers and went out and set these records at Watkins Glen, Road America, Road Atlanta, Virginia International Raceway on the Force, and the Virginia International Raceway on the Grand Course. They took out a pre-production Corvette ZR with the ZTK Performance package, which adds a rear wing, front dive planes, a tall hood gurney lip, all made out of carbon fiber. Underbody strips replace front underwing. Keep the downforce on the front. The suspension tuning with the ZTK package with stiffer springs and Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R ZP tires. And the four individuals wheel of the ZR1 know how to drive. The point of this thing, yes, is that they are to say that you have a track experience off the showroom floor with this car. 1,064 horsepower Corvette ZR1. All of these drivers are pro drivers. They all achieve Nürburgring Industry Pool certification. And GM said, go wild with it out on the track. Top speed cars, 233 miles per 0 to 60 time of 3 seconds. Quarter mile time in 9.6. The 1LZ hardtop convertible. You can buy one. They're starting to make them down in Bowling Green. Your second quarter of 2025 for $184,995. If you want the regular coupe, you get a little bit of a break. $74,985. That's the MSRP for those cars. If you can find them at that price, God bless you. I'm sure that the dealers will be tacking on whatever they can figure they can get on those. Don't know how many of them are going to be built, but it's certainly. I mean, you think about it; these are supercars, and I don't know that there's any cars or motors that put out those figures of 233 per hour with a 0 to 60 time 0.3 seconds, 9.6 in the quarter mile. That's a straight car that costs us under $1 million. I think to get that kind of action out of a production car, you got to spend over $1 million. Should GM be building those cars? Well, that's a good question. Personally, I think you should have to qualify to get one of those cars. You should be able to prove that you can handle that car. That car, deadly weapon. Hands is somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, you think of that car can kill people, and a lot of people, quickly. 233 miles per hour on the track. 9.6 seconds into a mile. I and this is me, personally, think that those cars, you shouldn't be able to buy one unless you have a certificate from a driving school that you know that car. Somebody shouldn't be able to just some 8-year-old kid that just got his driver's license, saying that this is going to happen, but it could happen. Some 18-year-old kid that just got their driver's license shouldn't get into this car and drive it off the lot. And you certainly, and I'll go one more for you. And again, I don't know that this is going to happen or would happen, but just for the hell of it, I would want to see special locks on it that would prevent it from driving, and they can do this technology that would prevent it from driving if you didn't have a fingerprint and an intoxication test. The last thing I want to know is there's some idiot out there driving this car who's had a couple of pops in him. It sounds like a nanny state. I know that. But you know what? Too many times I see these articles in Las Vegas. Somebody on the street kills a family with a Corvette, cuts a car in with a family in it, a minivan. New York, you see. I mean, every once in a while, when you look at these different things, and look for automotive news, you see these things all the time, and it's sickening. So I'm not saying you shouldn't make the car, because there are responsible people out there that can drive these cars. But I do incumbent on the manufacturer to be able to sell this car to somebody that can drive the car. And that's a policing mechanism to be able to make sure that the person that gets in that car behind the wheel knows how to operate it. All right. So that's our things you need to know today. Top 5 things you need to know. If any news or notes or anything, see us right down there. Always please send them to me. I want to also get I'm going to try next week and do it to beat out a Shoreline and kind of welcome. Yes, I mean, their season goes on all the time. Shoreline Cars and Coffee. If you get a chance, head down there and go see my friends down there and go check out some of the cars. I want to find is going to be down there. Next friend, Lance Lambert, from the antique car, and some other people. Maybe go down there and show you some of the cars. If you want to get your kid into cars, if you want a place to go on a Saturday morning, from 8 to 10, they do the Shoreline Cars and Coffee. And it's a great event. Bunch of friendly people with all different kinds of cars going out, all different stages. And you know, the great thing about the Cars and Coffee in Shoreline is that the people that go to this thing aren't jaded. So you can ask you about a car. You're thinking about getting into the hobby, buying a classic car. You're thinking about in your retirement, building the car of your dreams. There's people that ask about them. All different kinds of cars. The Chevy people, Mopar people, Ford people, foreign car people, and some of the nicest car people I've ever met. It's a really great event that's every week. So if you get a chance to go down there and check them out, please go down and check them out. And we'll also have our website up, and we'll put a complete schedule of the different car shows and Cars and Coffee and everything up on the website, so you can go to it 24/7. And on a Saturday morning, say, "Gee, I want to go check this one out, or I want to go check that one, or I'm going down to Yelmy, and there's going to be a show down there. I'm going to Ocean Shores, and there's going to be the big show down there, and hopefully we'll have some personal appearances that we can tell you about. Will you come out and say hello? We'll also get you caught up in the future couple of weeks to what's happening with the Triple X drive-through with Burgermaster taking that over. Of course, I think most of us know that the Burgermaster up on by University, by Washington is closing. I don't know if they're going to reopen spot again, but that's a loss to the neighborhood. Luckily, there's other Burgermasters around. So I'll still be able to my my crab and grilled cheese sandwich or my burger. All right. All right, let's talk about a couple of things here. First of all, let's jump in on our Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week? And you know, oh, tell you now, this is the third Volkswagen that I've driven in the past weeks, and a few weeks ago, what was it in November, I guess? The ID the ID bus. Then 2 or 3 weeks ago, we drove the Volkswagen Jetta, and I thought that might have been at $23,000. One of the best sedans out there. Really did my heart good to see that Volkswagen was still taking the sedan seriously. Volkswagen, I think, puts out a pretty darn good car these days. Now, this week they bring me the 2025 Volkswagen Taos, which is getting rave reviews from a lot of critics out there. A lot of people that test cars out are really loving this car. I drove it for a little while. I figured out exactly the reason why. And this car, so interesting to drive at, by not really sticking out among the crowd. It really sticks out among the crowd because it is a great little crosser with good looks, lots of appeal, and it's affordable. Now, you may have seen the Taos out. It was introduced back in 2020. It wasn't a great car. I mean, it was a small SUV. This was the car, and they were the Volkswagen. But they have added and redid this car. Put in touchscreen, more horsepower, LED headlights, restyled it a little bit, put a different transmission in there. And all of it put together, this car puts this car, I think, on among the best in the class. When you go and you think of the Subaru Crosstrek, you think of the Hondas, you think this Volkswagen gets in there with them. Whether you get the two-wheel drive or the all-wheel drive, I suggest the all-wheel drive, but you can get the base Taos S for $26,120. And let me show you this thing, because again, you're looking at a vehicle that I think really does the trick when it comes to looks. I love the color. When it comes to the styling, when it comes to the package, it has the black roof and the black wheels and the black bump and everything. It looks sharp. It's a good vehicle. But more than that, it's a good riding vehicle. It's not a sports car by any means. It's not going to blow you away, a Porsche. What it is, though, is a solid feeling, good looking, handles nicely, sucks up the bumps, quiet car. And you can option this thing out to be in different styles. There's a lot different configurations of this car. Said the base being $26,420, and it's got a great interior. It's got leather upholstery in some of the higher ends, even in the lower ends, even in the close to 30,000 ones that are a little bit more than just the base model. Buttons and knobs in the cabin, real buttons for driver assists, digital gauge cluster, audio controls on the steering wheel, lots of safety equipment in this thing. And I think that it really in this huge touch screen that they put it in to replace that little touch screen that they had, it really makes a difference in this car. Now, it's not the biggest in the class, but certainly takes care of business. They load the thing up with USB-C ports. If you go up to the higher trim levels, you have you have USB-Cs in the back as well. The rear bench seat has a lot of space for a tall driver, and it has decent foot room. Cargo area, not huge, as good as anything else in the segment. And if you do get the all-wheel drive system, it does cut in a little bit on the cargo space. If you just go for the front-wheel drive, you get like 3 cubic feet of behind the rear seats. But again, small SUV of lots of appeal driving, holds the road nicely. The dual clutch gearbox is gone, and now they have a regular good old transmission in there. You get 174 horsepower instead of 158, 184 pound-feet of torque. It's not a sports car, but it is a solid feeling, solid driving, small SUV that'll fit a lot of stuff in there. Good Costco run. Probably get 28 to 31 miles per gallon, depending on which configuration you get. It is a sharp-looking car. Not a lot of wind noise in this thing, and it through the curves nicely. Doesn't lean too much one way or the other. Feels good. Feels solid. This car feels nice and solid. And I think it's a car that you will feel good about jumping in and driving. So that's our Yo Vinnie car for this week. We'll have a full report, a deeper dive coming up next week. But I think you're at for 28. That this car starts at 26, 420. 28 120, an S all-wheel drive that gives you a heated steering wheel. So what Volkswagen basically went out and did is they took a car that wasn't doing a lot for them, and they made it into a car that should do a lot for them. Again, we'll be driving this thing all week, and we'll have a chance to play with it a lot more and take it on a little bit of a road trip and see how it performs. And by the way, can I just what is moss green? Is this color that I think they derived Porsche paint, and it's a stunning car. Absolutely stunning car. I love the color, love the fact that they took the front and rear fascia bumpers and they got rid of the silver, the fake chrome, and they put black in there. And it looks menacing. I love the wall-to-wall, the quarter-to-quarter taillights, and the Volkswagen emblem in the back that lights up. This is a solid effort by Volkswagen. And again, third Volkswagen in a that I've driven, and third Volkswagen in a so far that I've enjoyed. This is a great car, and I just really think that you do yourself a favor if you're in the market for that small SUV, and that's something that you think
is something you should be checking out. This is just one that you'll be checking out. This cause that I think you will when you get in that thing and drive it, you'll enjoy it. All right, okay. All right. It's gonna put it in the books, I think, for this week. But apologies to Howie Rose. I'm excited about. I want to do a road trip to spring training. I don't know why I had this bug in me, but I really want to do a road trip to spring training. So I have to see if I can make that happen. Think I can make that happen? I don't know. We'll see. Uh, uh, all right. George Jackson Promotions. I've told you about him a million times. I'll tell you about him a million more because he's a hell of a guy. And if you are in the market for this items, promotional items, George Jackson, my friend George Jackson is the guy to see. Go to gjpromo.com on the internet. Go to his Facebook page at George Jackson Promotions. Any promotional items you need for your business, for your sports team, whatever, George can handle it. He handles it himself. So when you call up and you're from George, if something goes wrong, you talk to George. George gives you his cell number and he says, okay, you need these, I'll have them here for you on Tuesday. If by some chance, which doesn't happen with George, but if by some chance they don't get there by Tuesday, you don't have to call George. He calls you and says, we got a problem. You can expect him on Wednesday, and then he makes that happen. He is truly one of the best in the business of promotional items, and I've been buying promotional items since I'm a kid for different businesses. Stickers, business cards, calendars, pens. Still have. I think I may even have it here. But I still have pens from my damage appraisals that I had 40. I still have my little ballpoint pens that I used to hand out in insurance companies. Oh, man. Because that's what you do. And you know what? The pen still works. So, like that. The pen still works. So if you need items for your business, George Jackson Promotions, GJ.com on Facebook. And then if you need something, tell them that you're a friend of mine. He'll give you the deal you need to get you the stuff that you need to promote you. This is the time of year where you give things out. This is the time of year where you have your little league and all that kind of stuff. Graduations, things like that. This is the perfect time. So give my friend George a holler. He is a proud sponsor of the show, and he had many years. And hopefully, with your thoughts and your help, he will continue to keep us talking to you every Saturday at 11 o'clock. That's going to put another one in the books, as I said. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Don't forget to join me on Monday morning at 10:10 with Michael Knight. Mikey and Vinnie take on the world. Again, if you have any suggestions for the show, any comments, please go to our YouTube channel at goldenvmedia.com. Please like, subscribe. We need some people to subscribe to the show. Please tell your friends. Please go there. Help us out. We will promise that we'll entertain you with the world of cars every Saturday morning, 11 o'clock or thereabouts. Think about this thing. It's always thereabouts. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We'll catch up with you on Monday morning at 10:10 if the Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. Be nice to each other out there, huh? We could use a little love
in this world. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody, and happy President's Day weekend as well. Take care of yourselves now. Bye-bye. What the